heard from him?
As far as JVG, we're just praying for him and his family situation that he can get back to us as soon as possible. T. Lou, still experiencing some back issues, and so same thing with him. We just want him to get back as soon as possible. We also want him to take care of himself and whatever it takes for him to be able to get back here.
How would you kind of go to practice today? Like, you got a full team. We ain't seen that very often. So, like, how do you kind of, use this rare opportunity to get done whatever you need to get done today?
Today was more, it was a looser practice. We did some fun things, but at the same time, some conceptual things that we wanted the guys to kind of lock in on. They did a lot of really good things the other night in Cleveland, and so we just want to keep building on against Cleveland. So we want to keep building on that, and so we just did a lot of shooting, a lot of execution stuff, and different lineups, because obviously we've been throwing a lot of different lineups out there, and for the first time in maybe all season, we've had pretty much everybody available and at our disposal to use. And so there's a lot of different combinations that we still have to figure out that we're trying to do and that we walked through today.
Speaking of lineups, the three-man group of Bogey, Nico, and Zoo have been really good on the floor together. Kind of how have you seen their fit and kind of how they kind of boosted each other and boosted the team?
Yeah, I mean, the guys have been kind of joking calling them the Euros, but obviously there's a familiarity with them, not just language-wise, but just on the floor, and the style of play that you see played in Europe, and particularly the passing and the movement. And so it's been a blessing in disguise for us to see how they have gelled, those three guys in particular, working with each other. And we're cognizant of that as a coaching staff, and try to get those three out there as much as we can.
What's your message to the guys? Now you have another big game, another game against a team that's ahead of you in the West. And OKC coming in, they're now top of the league. How do you guys approach these games? Are they going to stay the game, or is it still just about your group?
Yes, I mean, it's about our group. When we're in a position to be able to control what comes next for us, we have to take control of those situations. And so that's how I've been approaching it. We've been approaching it. Not trying to make it more than what it is. And just the one thing that I really saw in the Cleveland game is like the joy that everybody was playing with. So we want to continue that. We want them to have fun. We want them to compete. And I think if we compete and we have fun, we share the ball, and everybody feels like they're involved. And we got a lot of contributions in a lot of different ways. So it's just for everybody to star in their role. And Memphis is going to do what they're going to do. They're going to try to impose their will on us. We have to try to do the same thing, with them. But like I said, just mainly execute what we want to execute, and worry about doing, playing the right way and doing the right thing.
Well, what's the challenge of reintegrating Norm into the unit that seems to have found a rhythm together with Bogey and Hugh and James? Like, what's the challenge of reintegrating Norm into this?
Well, I mean, I don't know that it's a challenge. In that particular game, Zoo and that group with Bogey and those guys, they had such a good rhythm and such a good thing going that I didn't want to disturb it, and it didn't matter if it was Kawhi trying to be integrated or whatever. If they were rolling like that, I was going to let them roll. And so, Norm is competitive, and he wants to be out there, and he wants to be a part of it. But there's going to be different guys on different nights. And like I said, for the first time, we've had pretty much everybody available. So there's going to be nights where some guys who are used to getting a certain amount of minutes don't. And other guys that aren't used to getting minutes, if they get going, they get to stay in a little bit more. But as you get to this part of the season and closer to the playoffs, typically rotations will shrink anyway. And I mean, not that I'm saying that, addressing that to Norm, but just with everybody. Like I said, it's a good problem to have. It's better to look down your bench and have the problem of, I got all these guys, as opposed to looking down your bench and going, I don't have anything.
Right.
So.
When you look at
Last
the
one,
team, I
last
think
one.
like, you know, with a veteran team, it's probably easier to sacrifice. But a lot of guys will say sacrifice until it comes to them, and then they might not feel the same. What do you feel like the level of buy-in is with this team on, no matter what, who's out there, we just want to get the job done and win?
Well, I think it's the more success that we have in terms of winning games and the feeling that you get from winning games makes the buy-in easier, right? I mean, we have several coaches on our staff that have played at this level. We've all been in that position before where the coach has gone in a different direction. And you know, maybe we weren't happy about it, but you still have to be professional. You still have to pull for your, you know, for your teammates. And these guys, you know, for the most part, have done a great job of doing that and pulling for one another. You know, even if it isn't their day. And so, you know, like I said, at the end of the day, if you're really about winning, then, you know, if we win, then everybody should be happy. And good things come, you know, when the team has success. So if you're about individual things, then, you know, then maybe you have a different outlook on it. But I think we have a good group and everybody has been professional. And we want everybody to be competitive. We want guys to be upset if they feel like they can go in the game and help us out and they don't get put in the game, you know, and it's not always going to happen. That's a decision that the coach has to make. But like I said, everybody's been professional and been good about it and been pulling for one another.